The following is a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.
Yeah, baby. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. It's Tone the Bone checking in here on Tony Kurre Radio. Man, what a monster day we got for you today. I'm recording a bunch of shows today. Make sure you check out that TKR app. And also look for our Tony Kurre Radio podcast, wherever you get your podcast. We're on every major industry out there. You'll find us, Tony Kurre Radio podcast. We have over 1,000 shows now. It's crazy. Just about everything you want. Speaking of great shows, I've had cable for a while, right? And I've got HBO, and I don't think I've watched anything on HBO like in 20 years. Since my dad got the box at the house, you know, where you had to push the buttons. It's been that long. Brandon, Austin, Morris, good morning to you. Teresa Ponder, how are you? So I thought, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony was on Saturday night. And it's kind of weird how the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does their thing, because they have an induction process, and then they do a voting process. It's pretty brilliant, actually, because it lasts all year. And then they have the process where they allow the fans to vote, and they voted in Duran Duran. We'll talk about that in a second. And then they have the actual induction ceremony itself, where they say who's getting in, and then like 16 months later or whatever, they do the concert. And that concert was on Saturday night. And I said earlier, I think it's maybe the best class that I've ever seen in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, only from the standpoint that it's a little bit of everything. I mean, you had the Eurythmics, you had Pat Benatar, who of course was up for induction before. You had Dolly Parton, you had Judas Priest. It was just kind of crazy. And then of course you had Duran Duran. I mean, you had all elements of music, every type of musical genre out there. Harry Belafonte, I think, was in there. And so it was all over the place. And so when you pack in all these different musical acts into one night onto one stage, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And it was incredibly uncomfortable in a lot of ways. And it was 5.5 hours long. I was sitting there watching it, and it says 4 hours long, and I thought, okay, if I can do 4 hours. Because it's if you go to a Bruce Springsteen concert, you don't stay for half of it and come back the next night to watch the rest. I had to watch it all together, so it was like 3:30 in the morning by the time I was done watching this shit. Patrick Oliver, good morning to you, man. But it was amazing. It was highs and lows. It was weird because it started off with Robert Downey Jr., who looked like a flippin' turtle. I don't know. I didn't recognize who he was. He had a green suit on. He's bald. He's got these big black rimmed glasses. And I love him. I love Robert Downey Jr. I love his movies. I love everything about him. But what a strange dude. What a weird dude. And so he gets up there, and they start with Duran Duran. And I understand you're not going to start with the biggest and best. I wouldn't have wanted them to start with Judas Priest or Dolly Parton. But Duran Duran is, of all the bands that got in, Lionel Richie was in, Eminem was in. I mean, it was a plethora. It was a cesspool. It was a melting pot of all this great musical genres. And Duran Duran was probably the only band that I really felt like, when you go to Hall of Fames, when you go to Hall of Fames, whether it's in Canton, whether it's in Cooperstown, and I say a name, if you have to pause, they shouldn't be in, right? If I say Bruce Springsteen, slam dunk, boom. If I say Duran Duran, I go, then they shouldn't be in. Not take away anything from their music, not to say they didn't have a bunch of hits, not to say they made major movements, but Duran Duran just, to me, is just not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame royalty. They're just not. And maybe it was that time of my life. I was probably in my teens and 20s. So, I mean, I was listening to their music. I was doing the Hungry Like the Wolf and Girls on Film. And I remember watching them on MTV. But it just wasn't a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame royalty. But they got it, and so it's good. And, of course, they had some technical difficulties on stage, which is really funny because no one else had technical difficulties, but Duran Duran did. Anyway, it was just incredibly weird to watch. And then to see Rob Halford from Judas Priest singing Jolene with Dolly Parton was just bizarre. And when you're talking about who was there, Bruce Springsteen, John Mellencamp, I mean, it was like if a bomb went off in that place, it's over. It's over, man, because there was so much rock and roll royalty there. But it was great. And Dolly Parton, man, I love her, man. I just love her. I mean, she's just fantastic. She's just unbelievable. I got a chance to meet her one time, and she's just, I mean, for as rich and famous as she is, she's so humble. She's like, I feel like a hillbilly in the city. I'm like, stop playing your hillbilly in the city crap. We know that Dolly Parton is bigger than life itself, but it was fantastic. I hope you get a chance to watch it. It'll be on HBO. If you can find 5.5 hours, you may have to take a couple of naps and maybe eat a couple of meals and drive to the gas station, gas up, and come back. It'll still be on. Get a chance to do that. Pretty amazing stuff. Coming up Wednesday night, AC/DC, a band that was inducted back in 2003. We're going to be doing our Live Wire Wednesday, brought to you by Southern Precision Staffing. I'm going to be doing an AC/DC Rock and Roll Hall of Fame special, 8 o'clock Central, coming up on Wednesday night right here on Tony Kurre Radio. Download the TKR app. You can hear it 24 hours a day anywhere in the world. We have a lot of Swedish people that love Live Wire Wednesday, and of course our Australian AC/DC fan club is big, and you can also podcast that show through Spotify whenever you want. So today, kind of a bittersweet day today. Moving sucks, all right? I was going through, and I realized that I've moved 8 times since I was born. I spent about 21 years in Westchester, Ohio. Then I moved to Louisville, Kentucky. Lived in one place in Louisville, Kentucky. Did not move in like 2.5 years. And then I moved down to here to Birmingham in 1988. And I've moved like 5 or 6 other times. And it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Sit down this morning and figure out how many times you've moved. It's pretty amazing. It's almost like counting how many cars you've had. Now, I've been in this house for the last 19 years. Went through divorce, went through all this child stuff. And so I was trying to do everything I possibly could to stay in this house because of my kids. This is where my 18, my 15, and my 10-year-old children, it's the only place they've ever lived in. And so I was trying to do everything I could to save it. And then, I built Tony Kurre Radio down here in the studio. This is where my my ex-grandfather used to sleep down here in the basement when he come to visit. My son's bedroom's over here. And so I turned this basement into this just multimedia, just a mecca, wonderful radio station, Tony Kurre Radio and TKR and all of our podcasts. And all the magic happens down here. And if you watch Dr. Josh and I, we do stuff on Fox Stick. We're on television down here. I've done international news down here. We do podcasts, and we do everything down here. So I wanted to save it for my kids. I want to save it for this. And then, sometimes you can hold on. It's the old puppy dog thing. Sometimes you can squeeze the dog too tight. You're holding on to it. And I heard the old, you have to let it go to know it's yours. And if you really love something, it'll come back, blah, 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 blah. And so I've been trying to hold on to this place for like the last couple of years, despite the fact that I was told I need to get rid of it. And so I finally pulled the trigger on it. And so I'm closing on this place today. And it's I don't want to say it's traumatic, because traumatic is emotional distress. It's not really traumatic. It's just incredibly emotional. And to be going through everything in this house, thank God I'm a purger, because I am not a person that saves a lot of stuff. But when you got 3 kids, when you got a daughter and you got 2 sons, the stuff that they save, the artwork and all those things, the report cards and the ornaments, go on and on, the pencil erasers, the specialty, and you're like, can I get rid of this? No, the doll houses, all that stuff. To go through 18 years of that over the period of about 2 or 3 weeks, man, is quite traumatic. It's kind of crazy. Jimmy, Hopewell Elementary in Westchester as well. You were schooled at Hopewell Elementary, really? I did not know that. Hey, I'll see you at the Tennessee game on Sunday night, bro. I'll be there Sunday to watch the Bengals kick that Tennessee Titans ass. So it's just been like an emotional, and if you've been watching me here on Facebook over the last few weeks, maybe you've kind of felt that it's, I try to be on, I try to be positive, I'm trying to be good, but as soon as I get done here, I'm going to be going out in the garage again and going through boxes of stuff. And listen, I'm always like, sometimes at the end of the year, you see me wearing really shitty looking clothes. It's because if I don't wear those clothes, I got to get rid of them. If I don't wear something over the course of a year, then I get rid of it. Because unless it's, like a shirt that I have to keep, or a shirt that I had at my first communion or whatever. But if I haven't worn it in a year, I got to get rid of it. So you'll see me wearing some really ugly clothes. In the next 3 or 4 weeks, just watch. You'll see me wearing some really ugly shit. It's because I don't want to get rid of it yet. So I'm pretty good about getting rid of things. And as I've gone through this process of cleaning out the house, and you've done it too, and I'm the only one here, right? So 18 years, 19 years of going through a house by yourself, going through boxes. There's stuff that I found, and then you're out in the driveway, looking through old pictures because you want to remember this, and you end up spending an entire day looking through a bunch of old pictures, it's great. It's good. It's just very, very emotional in a really, I don't want to say bad way, it's just a really weird way. because you're kind of reliving your entire life and everything that happened in this house. And obviously I had a wife in this house, I had my kids in this house, I got dogs in this house. And so that's all about ready to change. But I'll tell you this, I am so flippin' excited about the new chapter. I just feel I feel like trying to hold on to something for some. It's kind of like a bad relationship, you know, when you try to hold on to somebody that doesn't really want to be with you, and you're trying to work it out, and you're tiptoeing around, and you're doing all the things you possibly can to save it, knowing that really in your heart it's probably not worth saving. And it's probably not savable at all. Nothing's going to change. A switch isn't going to come on. All of a sudden, things are going to be good. You know what kind of relationship I'm talking about. And then when you finally say, you know what, I've had enough. I'm moving on, and you found something new. It's just a huge release. It just feels like the top came off my head, man, and all the stuff is just coming out, man. It's just fantastic. It's just a beautiful thing. And I am so excited about the future. I'm 56 years old. I am still young. And I know a lot of people on Facebook are probably in that same age group, but I am just so stoked about what the future holds. So I found a new place. I'm going to be moving the Tony Kurre Radio Studios. It's going to be nicer than what I have right now. It's certainly not going to have the emotional attachment that I have here, but it's going to be nicer. It's going to be bigger. And we're going to be able to grow. And I'm beyond excited about what the future holds. Got a lot of crap that we got to get through first, and cleaning stuff out. Man, it's amazing the shit you throw away when you move. Wow. I've gone to the dump like 4 times, and I've had stuff down here. I thought, no, I'm going to hold on to that. Do I want to move that? No, throw it away. I mean, if it weighs more than 10 pounds and I haven't seen it in 2 years, it's going in the trash, man. It's going out to the trash. I should probably tip my trash man this holiday season because he's been lifting some pretty heavy trash cans. But anyway, I just want to share that with you. I try to be transparent with everything. It's been really funky and strange over the last couple of years, certainly over the last couple of weeks. But I cannot wait to show you the new studio that we're moving into. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to get into my new digs, do it with my kids. It's going to be fantastic. And 2023, man, is going to be unbelievable. I try not to set myself up. I want to Griswold myself, but I'm telling you right now, 2023 is going to be awesome. We're finally going to have the COVID stuff pretty much behind us. The flu shit's going to be over with, and we're going to be in 2023. Maybe inflation lets up a little. I think this is going to be a huge year for all of us, and particularly here, homeboy. I think it's just going to be an awesome year, and I can't wait. With that being said, we still have Christmas and everything else the rest of this year, and I'm going to blow it out. We're going to have a great time. I got to get in this new place so I can get my Christmas lights up, man. That's huge. All right, I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching this morning. I'll check back in this week. It's Thanksgiving week. You don't have to wait till Thanksgiving to be grateful. If you watched our show on Fox 6 this last Thursday, we talked about gratitude, not attitude. EGO is not ego, it's edging God out. Take care of yourself and get your ego out of it. God-sized things, and you're going to get through whatever you got to get through this holiday season. It's going to be awesome, and super excited about the future. I love you. Thanks. Listen, I'm nothing without you. Period. Without you, without my clients who have financially given me the resources to continue to grow this business. I've got a vision for this business, and I know it's going to be great. I have a vision for my life, and I know it's going to be fantastic, and ultimately I have to give it all up to God and let him work his plan, and he is working his plan. He has never, ever let me down. God's never let me down, and he has taken care of me, and I thank him and give him praise for everything I do in my life. So it's awesome. So I hope you do the same thing. Have a great day. Enjoy your Monday. I love you.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Kurre Radio.